Get this thing going here now. All right. Okay, so you should see my screen, and I am pulling up the presentation as we speak. Fantastic. Let's see how this is working here. Okay, thanks you guys for everyone who signed in on Saturday to view the presentation. We had a bit of technical trouble with the audio and the video presentation going through the GoToMeeting presentation, and so I tried to go through Google, couldn't do it, and so now that gives me an opportunity to kind of clean up some of the little loose ends. This recording that I am going to share with you guys is, as it says, pre-recorded through another medium that was done at the end of last year. I came across this young lady myself at the end of last year, and I saw her presentation and took her course that she has available for those that want to get into a little bit more in depth on automating your real estate business. And just a little bit about myself, just so you guys know. For those that don't know, you can stay in touch with me through the website that I have. I am MLUV, that is IAMMLUV.com. And at the top of the page, you'll see the link for the VIP list, and you can sign up. And that way, you can stay abreast of the different activities and events that I have local and online. But for myself, I started in real estate, and I had a lifelong desire to get into the world of wealth and how that world actually happens for people that are not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So I actually was able to get a hold of Rich Dad Poor Dad in 2007, and I read the book as I was trying to start my very first business. Realized I wasn't going down the road that I wanted to go to, which was wealth building. And fortunately for me, I started that process prior to me being forced to leave my job in 2012, and it made a world of difference. I was not in need of a job versus chasing my own personal place in which I want to be in the universe, where my dreams are. And along the way, I've learned that it is even more self-building, upbuilding to go along this road with other people. So I enjoy sharing what I learn along the road with others. And so I welcome you to join the I Am MLUV group, the VIP list. We're growing on a daily basis, and we're sharing information. We come together through the online Google Hangout for time to time, share with each other what we're learning in our own personal journeys, and I share things along my personal journey with you guys, in hopes that it is of assistance to you. And so I'm in multiple income streams, so you'll see me share various platforms of information, and it may strike you. The next event that I will be involved in will be January 30th, 2016. And that'll be a business opportunity presentation opportunity for those that are looking to start their own business, grow wealth, add additional income streams, be involved with those with the same mindset, and so on and so forth. You can come out to this presentation and learn a little bit more. Meet me. I'll be there as well, as some of my other business colleagues. So if you're interested, once again, join the VIP list. Reach out to me. I can put your name on the guest list. I can share with you the address and so on and so forth. For those that are interested in starting out in real estate, usually people like to start out in wholesaling. And so my mentor offers the course for $1, and you can actually get access for 30 days into his back office portal, where there's tons of information. I still subscribe. New and experienced investors love this portal, whereas it has tons of information from his training courses to question and answer to access once a month to his monthly question and answer, where you can get your questions asked, answered, and more and more. And I'm also going to be at the end of February at the summit that the investors all across the world, from Canada, all over the U.S., will converge, and it's an opportunity to network, share information, learn new information, and grow. Ron makes it a very value-packed event, and it's a 4-day event. If you visit the website, you'll see the link. You can get more information and actually find out how to sign up yourself if you're interested in any of these, as well as anything that is coming. Then just check on that website, and I'm looking to keep that calendar updated. You'll see it at the top right hand corner of that page. So without further ado, I'm going to move forward in introducing the topic here, which is how to automate real estate, how to automate your real estate business. And Brittney is going to share with you um, how to do this, and with a very small budget, because a lot of us that are new, I still consider myself a newbie in a lot of things. We don't have that big bank account to bring in to 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 create that massive action. A lot of people think that it takes a large bank account to start your own business, and it doesn't. It takes creativity, it takes a mindset, and it takes that network of people that have that like mind that can share information with you and help you in growing your business and establishing your business, or answering any questions you might have along the way. I wanted to also let you guys know that Brittney will be giving this presentation. It will be about a little over an hour, and I'm going to share with you her contact information as well. If you want to sign up for her course, she said her course is like a 4-hour term. I can't remember. I know when I went through it, it was like right hot off the presses. She just had her book printed, and I was able to get the signing of her book as well, and her new book off the presses. But we did the training. I think when we went through was a whole day, but I think she said she has gotten it condensed to an hour. So that being said, let her know that you found out about it through me, Monica Blair, or I am MLUV, and that way she can pass on any opportunities that you all can receive. I know that she will let me know, and I will be passing on to you a download, a free download, for you to be able to get one of 3 opportunities. You can either get a free ebook of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, or How to Master My Time by Brian Tracy, or Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer, all which are very good books. So just let me know that you signed up with Brittney, and you'll get your free book download. You can email me or contact me through the website. You can call me. The number will be in the presentation. You can also reach out to me through Facebook. If you look for me on my page, it is Connect with I Am MLUV, or you can find me on my fan page, which is just like you write out a sentence, I space am space MLUV, and you'll find my fan page where I share events and activities as well. So I look forward to connecting with you guys in any form, fashion. We can help each other. That'll be great. Um, Without further ado, I will introduce to you the young lady that will be giving this presentation. It is a pre-recorded presentation that was done at the end of last year, as I said. So the transition might not be as smooth, as I'm not really handing off to a live person, but it will hold all of the value that you're looking for. So just to give you a little information about Brittney, this young lady is pretty new herself in real estate, but she's come in like a firecracker. She's the founder and owner of Top Notch Property Solutions Incorporated and Top Notch Holdings LLC, 2 premium real estate companies located in Washington, D.C. She's spoken at hundreds of people on the subject of real estate investing, and her story and journey about quitting a full-time job to pursue her dreams in owning her own real estate. She has been interviewed on the Real Deal Meetup radio show called Guru Interviews, interviews titled How a Newbie Made Six Figures Flipping Properties and Helping People in Just 1 Year, featured in IVY magazine as Entrepreneur of the Month, and had one of her rehab spotlighted in Fox 28 Good Day Marketplace in Columbus, Ohio. With her real estate business running on autopilot, Brittney is currently serving on the board of trustees for Democracy Prep in Southeast DC. In addition, she is the fundraising chair and secretary for the NCAA branch. So without further ado, I am going to allow this to transition on over to her now, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.
So just wanted to dive in a little bit about myself. So technically my nickname now has been called the Systems Queen. Essentially really good at just making business systems really efficient, especially in your real estate business. I'm originally from New Jersey, so that is actually where I currently am right now before I come to the Real Estate Investor Academy this Saturday for to speak, because I have two rehabs going on right now in New Jersey. But yeah, originally from there. I did my undergrad at William & Mary and got my master's in education at George Mason University through the Teach for America program. I actually just applied to get my MBA, so hopefully you all can send some prayers out there for me to see what the final results will be. So waiting to hear back on some schools as well. And then my strengths really in this business are outsourcing, so finding things that I really do not like doing, and of course passing them on to other people to do. I'm really good at raising money to date. Within the year since I quit my full-time job, which was November 7th of last year, I've raised close to $5.4 million to do different real estate investing deals. So definitely can answer some questions about any private money that you guys have, as well as just developing people. Really good at, putting together essentially training materials to make sure that your employees, virtual assistants, or interns are really in the know of how to do every aspect of your business. And just a couple of hobbies: I am a spin cycler, love to play chess, and I do a lot of nonprofit work. So real quick, just wanted to give you the background of how I even got here. So yeah, straight out of DC, I was straight out of Virginia where I went to school. I did the program called Teach for America. It was interesting because I was working with a couple of families who were going through foreclosures, and that's what kind of introduced me to real estate. I was like, I'm a math teacher. I have no idea how to help, but I will do the best that I can. And I essentially decided to, look into the idea of how to do wholesaling, how to do rehabbing. And then I actually worked at Georgetown University thinking I thought of possibly going to law school to do real estate law. But then once I really started reading the books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of course, the E-Myth, Think and Grow Rich, I really decided to buy into a real estate course called Fortune Builders, and took a lot of their strategies as well as a lot of new things that I've learned, and really just launched a company to do it full time. And so now, Top Notch Property Solutions is where I do most of my flips. I have a few rentals in Columbus, Ohio, Top Notch Holdings, and then the consulting business to help people automate. Anything that you guys do, I absolutely, of course, you have to know what your why is. And if it's not motivating to you and doesn't get you up at the end of the day, then your business really won't be successful. I see people just come in and out of this business so quickly and give up on how to do automation. And it's because their why really isn't strong enough. So yeah, I'm excited to announce that, yeah, this is my why. My mom bought her dream car, her Cadillac SRX, a couple months ago. Getting her a house in Fort Lauderdale so she can essentially retire this upcoming year in June, and just working hard now so that I can really stack up on those passive income properties so that I can enjoy what life has to offer. So let's just go ahead and dive straight into it. So what do I actually do, and how virtual assistants help me with just my business and just the 7 streams that I'm working on? They say the average millionaire really does have 7 streams of income. So with my business, in addition to other outlets, I'm constantly working on how to put these things on automation so that my 7 streams are automated. The first one is, of course, the rehabbing business. So literally, they say, I'm flipping by day, raising funds by night and flipping by the day. So yep, currently doing full-blown rehabs in New Jersey, Florida, and Ohio, and Maryland, in addition to doing wholesaling deals in DC. And of course, I'm also investing my money and increasing my wealth. So I essentially turned my 403b and 401k into a self-directed IRA. So using my money on different flips and projects. I also use those profits to buy rental properties. I also help other investors by helping them buy rental properties. So yeah, just really using the systems I've put in place to also do investing and increasing my wealth through rentals. One of my favorites, and I know Sherman might have also talked about this with you all, and if not, tell him to get you to learn more about this, because this is also a really good moneymaker. Besides using my real estate license to get paid, I do help a handful of clients in DC sell houses at retail. Shout out to all the agents if you guys are, the buyer's agents, but that is really hard to do. I'd rather do, obviously, with sellers all day. So I do help a handful of clients sell their house at retail. But really what the big one is getting paid for referrals all day through affiliate marketing. And so, anytime I, put somebody onto my contractor, my painter, my landscaper, really setting up affiliate agreements so that way, I'm always getting paid for doing business and helping people find business. And I did a lot of these for free before I realized that was the thing to do. So definitely that's something to also help you guys also build out another stream of income. And then, of course, consulting small businesses, so helping businesses leverage their time, money, and resources so that they can wear the entrepreneur hat rather than the technician hat. And I'm constantly creating systems and training virtual systems to operate on people's businesses. So how have I and other businesses, pretty much scaled up in this market and in our industry? Of course, the key is systems, and more systems. And I just love this very much because I really think it essentially captures basically our business models and what we need to be doing. So when you have systems, you're obviously creating consistency. When you have consistency, you're building up productivity. And obviously, the more productive you are, the more revenue you're going to increase. And when you have more revenue, you have more, hold on, got ahead of me. When you have more revenue, you can obviously hire more employees or virtual assistants. And my favorite is when you have more employees and you are no longer the technician in your business, but the entrepreneur, you create more time. And everybody says the phrase time is money in this business, but for me, time is everything. And so really important to kind of think about as you're really starting to develop and automate yourself. What things are you really trying to pass on to somebody else so that you can now no longer be the technician, but really the entrepreneur? And how we leverage our time, of course, virtual assistants. So some of you are thinking, like, why is it important to leverage so much time in this business? So shout out to everybody who has this current business model. I have had it before when I first started, so I definitely remember being here, and it was not the funnest times, but it's got some things just have to get done, right? So essentially you are the marketer, you're the person who answers the calls, you're also your own administrative assistant, you're the bookkeeper, doing website design, IT, everything. So again, I understand. I've been there. The idea, though, that I like to really just tell people is essentially this has to happen at some point, especially when you first get started. You're learning your business, you're learning what works and what doesn't. And then at the end of the day, you're taking all the information of what works, you're figuring out ways to create those systems so that you can essentially leave that technician who is consistently working in their business so that you can then move to the entrepreneur and work on your business. So, very complicated side, but wanted to give you kind of what our selling and buying model looks like in our business. So at the top, as you can see, that's me. Not the most flattering picture, but got to do something. And essentially, we are working with virtual assistants to get a lot of these pieces as a part of our system. So I go ahead and I'm basically managing looking over the direct mail campaigns, the internet campaigns that are going out, the text message marketing, as well as bandit signs. So I pretty much have, at this point now, I'm just overseeing what's happening. But my virtual assistants are really tracking everything that we do in our business. They're tracking the direct mail campaign pieces, um, calculating the conversion rates, picking which areas to disregard and which ones to actually tap into new ones. So they're constantly researching, as well as the internet leads. They're constantly working for us on our Google page, on Facebook, on social media. We do text message marketing and voicemail marketing through Slide Dial, and I'll dive into that too, as well as the bandit signs. And I don't actually now. I used to back in the day have that bandit sign hanger and was out there, slugging away. So I've been there too. But now, we have a runner who does the bandit signs through an app that we have, and I'll mention it as well later on, that allows us to basically track, all the different signs and where the calls are coming in from which sides. We essentially then use Podio, which is a database I use for everything. It's basically to host everything. And so essentially my Podio is set up where I wake up in the morning and I look at between me and my partner, I look at all the leads that have come in. And not even just the leads that have come in, the leads are also attached with an offer ready for me to go. So all I really do is look through and say, not this offer, not that offer. The offers that we do want to actually go ahead and pursue, I just assign the task to my realtor to go ahead and submit the offers. They go ahead and take it from there, bring it to the title company, we close, and then wash, rinse, repeat. And then just some of the tools that you see, I pay my virtual assistants via PayPal. I have Skype with them, as well as I use Pamela to record their calls that they make, because sometimes they do outgoing calls for us as well as just a Team Viewer, which I also didn't put on here, but it's also a good way for us to also communicate back and forth on different things that we need to adjust. Yeah, this is essentially what the model looks like. And GlobeFlow and Zapier are actually tools that work into Podio to kind of integrate more things, such as your MailChimp or your Aweber. All these things can be filtered into your Podio database. So the key to scaling up, it's just documenting every aspect of your business. I think a lot of people, think it's so hard, and it's funny because one of my clients was like, I really just spend so much time on automation. Like that's a process within itself. And that's not the goal. The goal is to really document it as you're doing it, right? So as you're doing that direct mail campaign, you're documenting all the letters that you're using, what fulfillment industry or source you want to use to send it out, and you have it all written down or via videos, right? Because you can also record what you're doing. And then that's how you can actually start by training other people in your business so that they can work on it with you and for you. And consistency. A lot of people who always come to me say, I want to do automation. I really didn't have that great of a success with my direct mail marketing campaign. Let's go with that. And I say, how many mailers did you do? And people say 1,000. And I'm like, great. How many times did you do it? One time. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not it. You got to be consistent. You should be doing, depending on the campaign that you're doing. We all know in this industry, especially, it's getting harder and harder. So we roughly do about 7 to 10 touches depending on the campaign. We're consistent about it, right? So if we say it's supposed to go out every 30 days, it goes out every 30 days. But just being consistent. And, you're building a calendar almost essentially for your virtual assistant. And I have a calendar to go more in depth on Saturday to show you. But one of the things is you really just can start by just doing one task, right? You want your virtual assistant to cold call, let's say, divorce attorneys for that hour. You set a goal. I want my virtual assistant to essentially call 35 divorce attorneys in this hour and leave voice messages. And they do that every single Monday at 9 a.m. Then you can go ahead and build. Then at 10 a.m., maybe they're doing your social media. 11 a.m., they could be working on the website. So that's kind of the ways that I basically teach in terms of scaling, because once you've built that consistency, you really start to build and grow from there. The best part is creating accountability for all members on your team. So every Wednesday, I am always dreading or loving our team meeting that we do. It's currently just me and my partner, 4 virtual assistants, but we also have a couple of other team members with us as well. And we really do hold people accountable. You tell me what your goals were for the week, and whether you completed them or not. And if you don't, the person who really fell on the short end of the stick has to buy everybody breakfast, so or do something for them, whatever we decide for the week. But you have to create accountability amongst each other in your business. And if you're a one-man show, you got to also write it down. As we say, writing our goals down is obviously the most way to be effective. But writing down exactly what you said you were going to accomplish that week, and then making sure you actually do it. And this is important, having benchmark goals each quarter. So for us, like, we really do, on a scale of all our marketing, have the benchmark goals. So how many leads do we want to be bringing in a quarter? How many mailers do we want to go out in a quarter? What's the conversion rate we're trying to get for each of these things? This really helps us to let us know what we can do monthly to reach those goals, what we can do weekly, what we have to break down and do that daily, and then hourly. So these are all essentially really important to have these types of goals documented. And then my favorite, right? Continuing to fire yourself so you can move up the ladder to becoming that entrepreneur and not remaining a technician in your business. So companies that are using automation, everybody's using automation. I swear this woman called me earlier today about us from Sprint, who I have sadly, so shout out to all my Verizon people. I need to come over to your team. But essentially, yeah, called me from Sprint, and I was listening to her, but she was telling me about the promotions going on, and I was like, where are you? And she was like, well, I work for Sprint. I'm like, no, where are you located right now? And she was like, oh, I'm in the Philippines. And I was like, interesting. No, but seriously, all these companies really do use automation to essentially help with customer service, sales, marketing. So it's a natural, it makes sense that we should be using automation in our businesses. We want to really scale it and take it to the next level. So what happens when you outsource in your business? Of course, Kiyosaki, my favorite, you're increasing your efficiency. Dan Merrill from Fortune Builders, reducing your labor costs. Michael Gerber, who wrote The E-Myth, focusing on entrepreneurial tasks rather than those technician tasks. And then Richard Branson is saying that, when you do that and you outsource, you also are reducing risk because you can actually manage your eyes onto what's happening in your business as opposed to you trying to do everything and possibly causing more errors. So how have I helped? Like I said, hire, train, evaluate virtual assistants, develop systems for real estate companies so that they can increase their production, and I've either enhanced or fixed the current systems to make them more efficient. And one thing that's important, because a lot of people are like, all right, if I just go ahead and read everything that you talked about, I try to implement everything that you say, I'm going to be successful. And I don't necessarily quite all the time agree. I think you also have to have the mindset that I have when I'm talking about training people and outsourcing. Because people think that, oh, if I just chase the next deal, I want to make so much money in real estate. That's what people say when they usually come to me. And I'm like, that's great, but at the end of the day, the way that I've been most successful is that I'm not in the business of making money. I'm in the business of helping people. And so when you are elevating people in your business automatically grows. So I really just want to dive into this on a more depth scale so you understand. So when I'm talking to my virtual assistant, when I'm talking to my contractor, when I'm talking to my realtor, I always have that initial conversation with them, and I'm asking them, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish in the next month, 6 months, so that I can help you reach those goals? That's a really serious conversation when you have with somebody because it lets them know that you're also serious about not just trying to get the deal done or trying to, but you're also trying to elevate their business and help them. And even with my virtual assistants have started with me, a lot of them from day one. And they've now been able to move up the ranks of just by knowing everything in our business. And I have 2 that are essentially project managers for the different states that we wholesale and rehab in because they've been with me so long because I'm constantly working on trying to give them raises, figuring out, oh, you guys need a computer, great. One of the bonuses was I actually sent one a computer. So understanding what they need in order to elevate themselves, which is only going to help you elevate your business. So just had to go in on that one because that one is important. And of course, training and helping people obviously helps your business skills. So people are like, oh, I don't want to train. It takes too much time. It's too consuming. But if you're also working and documenting every single step, you're also creating more efficiency in your system and in your business. And obviously, communication is key. We have weekly meetings with our virtual assistants, in addition to going over, what they're doing well, what we need to improve on. So communication is key, so everybody knows where they are and what tasks need to be done when. And if the project, this is a good little trick that I like to kind of ask people, but if the project isn't completed the way you wanted it to be done, whose fault is it? Type it in. I hope some people said yours because it's true. If the project isn't completed that you wanted it the way you wanted it to be done, I always ask myself, what did I not do to explain it better? So if I'm on a rehab job and my contractor has, cigarette butts everywhere, the project's not clean, that's my fault because I didn't tell him look, at the end of the day, we bring a lot of lenders on our project. Therefore, the site needs to be clean every single day. It can't be messy, and this is the reason why it needs to be clean, and essentially letting them know what my expectation was ahead of time. Same with my virtual assistant. If they didn't do the social media posts correctly, maybe my training materials weren't strong enough and I need to go back and adjust. So that's an important mindset to have when you go to train people. What did you do wrong, or how did you not communicate more effectively so that they can help you in your business? All right, so nitty gritty. What can VAs or interns do for your business? So they can hang the local intern can actually do the physical hang of the bandit signs, but our VA actually monitors the sites in terms of where they go, helps map the route out for us so people can, so they know exactly where they're going, as well as tracking exactly how much we should be paying them accurately. They can pick up the phone. We actually use Pat Live, so something to write down if you guys, some maybe you need it, some don't. But literally all my phone calls go to Pat Live. I don't even pick up my business phone at this point. For any mail campaigns, direct mail, our lead pages, any of our voicemail marketing as well. That number is picked up by Pat Live. They basically do an intake form of what it is, if it's a seller, if it's somebody who's a lender, a realtor. They'll do an intake form, and then they'll upload it to our Patio, all the actual offers specifically. Usually they'll just email us if it's a realtor or lender. But the offers specifically go in there, and then we just go ahead. I have to just look in my Patio the next day, and the leads are in there. My virtual assistant has made offers on them, and I'm good to go. They also can do marketing for you, of course. Social media, which is huge. I think a lot of people downplay it and think that, when we say social media, we're just talking about, posting what you did on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but no, really generating your business and leads. I recently just got a wholesale deal 2 months ago off of Facebook, someone who I didn't even know. So, it's how you market your business, but it's a really good one. They also can help you, of course, generate leads via website, via all these other avenues. Important, of course, creating a strong buyers, sellers, and lenders list. So right now for us, gosh, how many buyers do I have on my list? I would say I'm close to probably 6,000 buyers on my list. And obviously for the different avenues and categories, for rentals, for rehabbers, obviously in the different states where I'm at. So helping create your buyers list, they can help you submit offers and make offers, as well as schedule meetings for you. And so where to find them? So some of the best ones that I found have been over here on these ones. So Upwork is a great site, also formerly known as Odesk for some of those who heard of it. So Upwork is great. You actually have to, with Upwork, it's a little complicated in the sense that you actually have to find somebody who's in your skill set versus companies like My Outdesk, which just signed a huge contract with Keller Williams to represent them for their virtual assistant staffing company. They actually come trained in real estate. So, a little bit different. Of course, pricing looks different too. You can also find them though on Elan, 99 Designs for different graphics, as well as TaskRabbit. Fiverr is also a good one. Fancy Hands. School internships or career fairs, which is one of my favorites. But my absolute favorite is work study programs. So I'll also give you another tidbit to write down. There's a lot of schools in the District of Columbia and in Maryland who have work study programs as a part of their curriculum. So me personally, I got my intern from Don Bosco Prep. It's a school, and essentially every Wednesday they were sending me, this was last year, every Wednesday they were sending me an intern once a week for $3.99. Go ahead and say $3.99. Who came and essentially did a lot of tasks on my business all day. And then I was like, I need to get more of you. So this year I actually have two that come in. One is a sophomore and one's a senior. I actually kept the same freshman from last year to this year. So yep, sophomore and senior. And essentially they basically, sometimes I'm in the office, sometimes I'm not, but they're essentially helping me work on my business, and it's for free. And also community colleges. I actually I went back to my alma mater specifically and posted a job description to get an intern for the summer. And this intern rocked my socks. She taught me more than I knew. I was like, whoa, she was a computer science major, but really helped me get a lot of my marketing pieces in order. And so now she also works with me throughout the year, but I picked her up just past summer. All right, so how do you pick the best ones to hire for your business? This is all very important. So this is going to depend on your strengths and weaknesses, so you knowing exactly what you're good at and exactly what you're not at. And I repeat that again. You do need to know exactly what you're good at and what you're not good at. Oftentimes I think that, people are very quick to say, okay, like I have my real estate business, these are the things that I need to be doing, and this is, and it's just like you're doing too much. You gotta really just basically decide what are the things that you need to be doing to scale your business, excuse me, and what things can you outsource to somebody else. So knowing what your strengths are the things that you should be focusing on. And then what your weaknesses are, you still need to know how to do, but then you can essentially outsource those to virtual assistants. As well as your business model. So exactly how you want it to run, knowing the systems in it so that you can essentially outsource. And then, so with the two different types of real estate assistant or virtual assistant companies, so like Upwork, like I said, is a great site. However, the person that you may be looking for may not be is specifically trained in real estate. That's okay. You're going to pay cheaper for that person, but at the end of the day, you have to train them more. So you also have to factor in what your budget is. Something like my Outdesk is going to charge you more because they are virtual assistants that are trained in real estate, but it requires less training on your end. So it just depends on, what your business model and what you're trying to work with. Yep, so VA from a reputable company. The pros, they have real estate background training, less training that you need to do on the end, and they're more efficient in completing tasks. The cons are sometimes they're pricier, and they may only have one area of expertise, like social media marketing, like accounting, maybe doing lead generation sites, so it just depends. If you pick somebody who's not in real estate, they are obviously going to be cheaper and sometimes free, like I said, but you can also dictate the price and the workload, and you can train them essentially on your business models and practices. Sometimes it just takes longer to train, and they don't always come with the experience that you're looking for. And occasionally, depending on what site you pick them on, there could be a language barrier that you have to work through. So how to pay them? I think this is also important to discuss it just for efficiency. So we pay our virtual assistants two ways. One is by the hour, and it's for those demanding tasks that are really hard to pay via project completion. So for looking at buyers, sellers, posting on our social media, we kind of pay them for the hour of how long it takes to do that. But paying by the completion of a project is obviously the best way to pay them, and we pay them for those types of miscellaneous tasks that we can put a number to. So essentially, I'm paying you for how many offers you submit within the hour and not necessarily by the hour. That is huge. For example, right now, our virtual assistant, it's based off of how many offers she submits, and if she submits up to 34 offers in one day, we can go ahead and send her roughly $6.50 is what she's up to now. Whereas if we were paying by the hour, it might take her probably 2 to 3 hours to do. So rather than us offering it as an hourly task, we offered it by how many offers she actually submits, to get a bigger bang for our buck. And also, you can have a fixed price for things like creating a newsletter or doing a landing page, things of that nature. And it's always good to give incentives or bonuses when they do go above and beyond. and periodically. So this person who's now at 6.50 an hour, she makes 30. She submits 34 offers. Obviously, we didn't start there. I think we started closer to, I would say, probably $4 if she got up to 25 offers. But periodically, every 3 months, we were giving her a raise each time. I think it went from like $4 to $4.25, so that she was seeing she was getting a bigger boost. And my favorite is the bonuses that we were paying, which obviously is why she really chose to stay with us, because she could have been making $15 or $10 an hour somewhere else, but that's just consistently. The bonuses were when we actually took one of the offers, obviously got it under contract, went to wholesale it or rehabbed it and sold it. Because then she got the $500 or $1,000 bonus. And then that in the Philippines is astronomical. So people are very appreciative when we give these types of bonuses. And she didn't even know it was coming. I was like, oh, I just closed a wholesale deal. I'm going to send you a bonus. And she was like, oh, great. And when I sent her like $400, she was just like, oh my gosh. So she wanted to obviously ramp up her offer system so that she could essentially put more offers in so that we can close more deals. So always gives people incentives or bonuses. And another incentive is just showing, and which she's now at now, she's partly one of the project managers for Ohio specifically, where we do wholesaling and a lot of rehabbing. Currently have, I think, oh my gosh, I think it's like 4. I just got 3 under contract, and there's one that just sold and one that's currently on the market right now. So we do a lot in Ohio. But yeah, so she's now the project manager essentially for Ohio. And she obviously started by doing just one small task in our business, but has now over the course of a year, I've now been working with her, and she's obviously moved up. And would love to have her move up to possibly be an acquisitions manager if we could. So showing people longevity of what you're trying to create is important. So how do you train them? So again, I need to preface this because I feel like a lot of people do this, and I'm like, it's not the effective way to train somebody or get somebody to work for you. You cannot hire somebody and say, I need you to go cold call realtors now, if you haven't done it yourself. So if it is a weakness of yours, okay, understandable, but you still need to at least have done it 10 times and at least have a system for what the script's going to be like, what the common questions and answers, what could be asked during that phone call, in addition to just some cultural norms to understand some of the lingo of what it is that you're talking about, so that your virtual assistant understands. If you just you hire somebody and say, go do this, and you don't provide anything, it's going to take a longer time. You don't have training on it. It can be sometimes a nightmare if you don't do that. So training them is we really do write down step by step what they need to do in our business, and we really do. So obviously this is like my teacher mindset. But it really is basic to the point that a 9th grade level, like one of my interns, who's a sophomore now, should be able to come in and essentially do some of these things because it's that specific and detailed. And you want to make sure you're doing that.
Brittney, I think the technical term for that is train wreck.
Yeah, that's a good one. So yes, it could be a train wreck if you don't do it. And then you can outsource it to a VA or an intern once you've documented that process. So how do we train them? Let me actually just give you an example. Oops. Okay. Sorry on my Facebook stuff. But yeah, essentially this is like part of my manual that I've created. And essentially it walks through like literally step by step. So what was this? MLS. So how to log in, how you fill out an actual offer letter to be submitted or a contract for our realtors. Literally step by step of what to do. And this is 154 pages. This is not even all of it. It's just a portion. So as you can see, you got to get as detailed as possible, so that way you are essentially showing them exactly what needs to be documented step by step in your business. All right, and then how to evaluate them. So you have to have an exemplar for every task that you assign. So if you wanted to have them do Craigslist ads, fantastic. But you need to have some samples for some of the Craigslist ads that you've actually done, that you got responses to, so that they know what they need to be posting. our virtual assistants know exactly where they are in our business. So they know how well they're doing, because during our weekly meetings, I'm essentially reviewing the progress that they made on the tasks that were asked of them throughout the week. And I'm basically telling them, okay, this was done great. These are some of the things that I'm highlighting with you that I thought were really good. These are some of the things I'd like to be tweaked. So people pretty much know if a task didn't go well or what needs to be redone. And these are set meetings that they know we're having every week. So this is where you get your chance to let somebody know if they aren't doing that well. So they should always know exactly where they are. And then once a month, we actually discuss the growth and progression. Usually this is at this is usually the first Wednesday of the month when we have our team meeting with everybody, but basically saying, like, what's your goals for the month? How do you want to grow? How can our company help you grow? As well as highlighting people's contributions to the company. And then literally, what skills do you want to learn? So the one who I said, who essentially Kathy, who was doing offers for us, I didn't even know she wanted to do cold calling. Like, I didn't know that was something that she really liked to do. So, like I said, I created the script for her, and because I had done it myself, right? Important to note, some people, again, hitting on that point. So I created the script for her and gave her the list of where she could look to find. This one was specifically divorce attorneys in Miami, because apparently if you just type in divorce attorneys in Miami, you'll get like 200 that pop up. So she went through the list and did some cold calls. And what I did was actually on Skype, she's calling through my Skype business account, and the call's being recorded through a program called Pamela, which allows me to review the calls that she was doing. So her and I could get on the phone and essentially say, when so-and-so said this, it would have been great for you to respond this way. Just kind of tweaking some of the things that she was already saying through my script, as well as adding to the script certain things and questions that may have come up. So just also giving people more opportunity in your business to do different things. And like I said, how you communicate with them. So Skype, you could also do a Google Hangout, or Google Voice for conference calls. You can use a free conference call line. Actually, it's great because it also is timesheet tracking combined with doing screenshots of their work, which I've also used. And then more so, what can VAs do for you, your business, specifically? So Facebook, wanted to dive into this on all the different real nitty-gritty things they can do. So they can post to Facebook using Hootsuite, which is what we use. Essentially, it posts to your Facebook and Twitter. Instagram is separate. But my favorite is ads, right? So we have our virtual assistants doing ads for a lot of things in my business. I mean, one that I was just like mind blown that really did work recently was, doing an event page and an ad for a house that we were showing. And literally, it was a house that was kind of unique. We were like, okay, it is one of those things that's kind of going to be for a specific buyer. And our realtor had maybe about, I'd say every weekend she really was doing a showing, but it was probably only like 2 or 3 people that were showing up. We did one ad and, sponsored it and did an event page. And that next weekend, we probably had 50 people that came to an open house. It was a record. I was like absolutely mind blown that came throughout that weekend. And so literally, somebody put an offer on it, we were good to go. So not just obviously your business page, but also certain things you're doing in your business. Wholesaling our showcasing our wholesale deals, our rehabs, and of course building your buyers list from Facebook groups. This is huge. So you can really be reaching out to people in these different groups that I know you all are in, because I'm in all of them too. And essentially, really understanding what people are looking for in that list. And our virtual assistant has done like actual messages to people individually to kind of build for our buyers list, as well as doing ads to acquire properties. So as well as my favorite, retargeting, right? So of course, when you're on a site and you're like, not really interested right now. My weakest is Aldo for shoes, so I click off Aldo, and then somehow those shoes pop up every other day on the right side of my screen, and I'm like, man, where these guys got me? But yeah, you can do retargeting for your business. So they're on your landing page, they didn't necessarily fill something out, but that retargeting comes in to essentially help you scroll right back to your business. So Twitter, same thing, but posting to Twitter using Hootsuite, you could build your buyers list off Twitter. really the big strength that I've seen Twitter be used for is business through testimonials. So when you're posting about how people work with you, or the different things that you've done on Twitter, it's been really effective versus just, making articles or trying to post like announcements of different things. That's not the best way, but what I've seen be really successful for us is when we posted testimonials about clients who've worked with us on Twitter. And then, of course, building an online presence through different content and reviews. Instagram. Do not sleep on Instagram. I tell you, I found a really good realtor through Instagram who liked one of the rehabs that I had posted on our page. And literally, her and I now, we have a meeting coming up next month in Ohio, who she also happens to be a stager. And so, yeah, picking her for what we do a lot of lower end homes in Ohio, but she is specialized in high end homes. So I'm really excited to work with her and hopefully get a bigger deal under contract in Ohio. So yes, you could be building buyers lists, people to work with on Instagram, as well as posting your leads. Again, a wholesale lead that came to my inbox was because a guy who I follow on Instagram posted it, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know you were doing that, wholesaling. But and so I literally asked him, go ahead and send me all the criteria. So yeah, you can be getting deals this way. And of course, showing your rehabs and building credibility. Obviously, that's what social media is also for, to build credibility of your business. But yeah, and Instagram specifically with hashtagging, something I also had to learn because I'm not the best hashtagger apparently, according to my. But this is why I have an intern who's in high school, right? This is her thing. She loves to do this, and I'm not the best hashtagger, but she is, and so comes up with all the different ways to get my business out there. Blog posts, which are still really key to having a successful real estate online business. So, you can really have your virtual assistant do the research for combing on different articles to post, whether you're trying to attract buyers, sellers, realtors, just discussing the market trends, so that people really do start to funnel to your actual website. And then the posts that are successful, you can, of course, boost to the wider network so that people can take a look. And yeah, so your virtual assistant can help you do these things, as well as also doing the SEO, the search engine optimization for those posts to boost it on Google. QuickBooks, and I do because so my taxes are done. Hopefully everybody else is on the call. Okay, I don't know where people are at, but mine are really done because what I do is I actually post so what my virtual assistant helps me with QuickBooks is I actually block out, of course, all the bank information, but I have categories for each expense on my statement that I scan to my virtual assistant, that way they can categorize the expenses that I have into QuickBooks, which I just sent over to my accountant. I do it monthly. I force myself because it's like the tedious task that I really hated doing. That was probably one of the first things I was like, I really don't want to do, sitting down at QuickBooks trying to enter all this stuff in. But yeah, I do it monthly, so that way my assistants were really on top of just entering it. I checked it, and now, we send everything over to the company that actually does my taxes. But yeah, so a lot of different things you can do in QuickBooks. In addition to, having them even pay your employees or your independent contractors who are working for you. My favorite, because I am a person, or I used to be a person who literally had, and I still do, right? But I had like a rubber band filled with like a stack of business cards, and I was like, this is not effective. But essentially, after going to all the RIA meetings that I attend, I just literally take a picture of the card, write a quick note, and I have a label categorizing, where I need to go, and send it to my virtual assistant, who can essentially put it into my buyers list, or, it's for realtors, lenders, buyers. So that way I'm not sitting at the computer now, because knowing me and how much I, network with people, in a week I could probably come back with 100 cards. So literally after an event, I just take like 10 minutes just to go ahead and take pictures, send it to them, so they can go ahead and categorize it appropriately. And so not only are they helping you update your contacts, they're also helping you set up autoresponders to your buyers and sellers lists, as well as providing referral services for contacts. Like they can, do your affiliate marketing. So someone emails me and says, or even I meet somebody at a networking event, and they say, hey, I really needed a good contractor in the area. Can you recommend? I can even, take that card, send it to my virtual assistant, obviously categorize them where I want to, but say, can you also send this person the contractor so-and-so, the contact information for them, so that way they can also do it for you. My favorite, offers on the MLS. This is extremely important. Oh, sorry, my phone in the background. So one of the big things that we have our virtual assistants do, right? So they are essentially combing through the MLS in our market and being able to essentially look at, things that are posted in Ohio, things that are posted in Florida, and doing our MAO formula essentially, and with some tweaks that we made, like I listed in the manual, and putting an offer in for us. So they basically are writing it on the state contract. They go ahead and upload it into Patio, and then in the morning, my partner and I will actually look at all the offers that were attached, and we just go ahead and pass it on to the realtors. So this is huge. One of my clients the other day, literally, and it doesn't take that long to do. That's what's really, you could do this tomorrow, essentially. One of the clients I worked with, literally, it took him a week to put the system in place. That was the training, that was his Podio, that was the offers. It really isn't as hard as people think. And you just have to be consistent. So another good way that they can really help you. Answering the phones, like we said a little bit earlier. But one thing I didn't mention that I wanted to was, when people are also when they're taking calls from different realtors, buyers, lenders, or contractors, Pat Live also has an option for them to email you who the person was, but they can also do a search for you and find out exactly, specifically where they're located. They can also set up appointment times if you are saying anybody who contacts me who's a lender, because I just sent out a cash buyers campaign, they need to set up an appointment, put them on my calendar, right? So they can essentially take all those extra steps out and putting them on your calendar in addition to your seller leads, right? So and actually putting them on your calendar so that you know when your appointments are. So huge, and takes a ton of administrative back and forth emails, which, can just be so boggling and complicated. Cold calling, which is my favorite. So we do have a cold call for sale by owners list, tax liens, probates, short sales, sellers, agents, or attorneys. They also do call realtors, right? So we are obviously trying to build relationships with all realtors in the different states that we are currently rehabbing in. And, they're walking through that basic script, like, hey, so our property that you had, especially if it's being close to expired listing, where's your seller at with it? Or having that conversation with a realtor and saying, hey, how can we essentially work with you in your business? If there's a property that you pick that you see that you're like, I may not want to take it because nobody will buy it, definitely think of us. So great cold calling techniques to use. Website maintenance, which is important, so they can update your website accordingly with the different listings you have, programs you have going on, the blogs, events, and pictures. Our website leads off our landing page do go into Podio, so they can also do that for you, as well as add pages accordingly to your website. In addition, my favorite, which is researching competitors. So you have you can use a tool essentially to basically spy on your competitor's website. So essentially, I could look up DC RIA, even though I wouldn't, but look to see exactly how many, what the exact amount that my friend Sherman is now marketing to actually get his site posted on Google where it is, right? And all I need to do, essentially, if I were to try and spend probably a ton of money to be higher where Sherman's site is, I would essentially, I know exactly how much he's spending, all the keywords that he's using, so I could essentially try and get my site ranked higher. But your virtual assistants can also help you comb through that information to do that. Search engine optimization, like I said, also boosting your website, your squeeze pages, looking at your competition, even like, doing the spiral on them, as well as monitoring monthly search engine reports, right? And so they can also show you exactly how many people are visiting your site, as well as coming up with a plan to increase those visitation numbers. The Bandit Sign campaign, so using the app Simple Crew. Obviously, like I said, our virtual assistant is actually managing Simple Crew, but we obviously have people who are on it who are actually posting the Bandit Sign. But we actually can track the progress of where it's actually being hung up, as well as pay people accordingly per sign. managing my calendar person, which I need to do all the time because I can be all over the place. But they do screen my emails, particularly to see who's important, who I need to respond to, put people on my calendar accordingly, and also prioritize which people I need to speak to, like a lender calls. Go ahead and put that on there. And also creating my to-do list, as well as reminding me about certain deadlines for things I need to do. Buyers, which is important. So Craigslist, Yahoo, LinkedIn, Facebook, these are all so essential to your business because you could literally have somebody every hour going on one of these sites to build a buyer's list if you were really short. And literally. So look, all the different groups that they have in LinkedIn, Yahoo, even sending personal messages to people. This is the way you're really going to grow your business when you have a really strong buyer's list. They've cold called wholesalers and rehabbers for us, also kind of build buyers, and as well as doing just keyword searches on Google to see which wholesalers and rehabbers are in our area that are, essentially top performers, so we can essentially wholesale stuff to or try and get wholesales from to do rehabs in that city. And of course, coming through buyers lists on Zillow, Redfin, and Trulia. Excuse me. Also can help you find sellers through different keywords, Craigslist, of course, Zillow, and other online groups, as well as build direct marketing lists for probates, foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, FSBOs, and expired listings for motivated sellers, as well as if you direct mail marketing campaigns, if you're looking for sellers, and doing a mailing to them, actually putting them, on that list of people maybe you want to do a follow-up with via voicemail, text message blasting, trying to basically help you connect with sellers directly so that you can obviously buy from them and wholesale and rehab the deal. Finding lenders, which is crucial because in order to do rehabbing, you need cash moolah. So this is my strength, finding lenders. So literally combing through different lists, cash buyers lists. I have a credibility packet that I send out to people about our company, as well as a deal, the documents that go with it, so people are all on the same page as to what needs to be done and what they can expect from me. As well as I've definitely done direct mail campaigns for cash buyers, as well as email campaigns. And my favorite, right, is emailing people who told me no, right, the first time, and putting them up on a follow-up email campaign. Because at the end of the day, me personally, how I mind map, like I have a list of people every month who I know I'm really trying to hit. It's very much a competition within myself within me. So literally, going through that list and saying, who can I get to essentially commit to a project? If they were on the borderline, what do I need to do extra to convince people to actually lend on projects for us? Updating lenders, which is important. So coordinating travel itinerary for lenders to see projects. This is an interesting one because I've never actually had to do this, but it's important because I've offered it to all my lenders. I say, Sherman, you're in DC. Realistically, if I had a project in DC and you were a lender, how many times essentially would you want to go see the project? Sherman may say 2 or 3 times. And I say, great. And I say, I will actually fly you to Ohio to see the project if that's what you want to do to see it. Nobody has taken me up on it, but I always offer it, essentially because people, love to, feel like they could be more involved in the project. Newsletters, which is important. So our virtual assistant every Wednesday is contacting our contractors, asking for pictures on the project, and then putting it into a massive newsletter that goes out to all the lenders. They can see all the different projects, see where they are on the project and how it's being updated. So that's how we update our lenders. And then, of course, they do document prep for us. So preparing the promissory notes, the mortgage notes, presentations that we do, our credibility packets for sellers, buyers, lenders, realtors, and contractors. And yes, I do have a credibility packet for every single one because it is important to let people know how you can help their business or them specifically. And follow-up, as we know, right? Most deals are where the money is made is on the follow-up. So it's one thing to make offers and say you make 98 offers, but you also have to have a follow-up system for when those offers get accepted, rejected, no response, right? So we have a system, obviously, especially in Prodeo, And we've done some Excel tracking when we first started to essentially see exactly where that lead was and how we were going to follow up with them. Were we going to do a 30-day touch, do a call, an email, a letter, whatever it was, to make sure that we were always following up. And we obviously put our follow-up campaigns with people for up to 6 months, sometimes even longer. There's been lenders who I've been trying to snag since last year, who 2016 I hope will be the year to snag them. But yeah, always putting people up on follow-up campaigns. Obviously helping you through the wholesale process, right? So literally from start to finish, marketing and finding the deals, helping you make offers, preparing contracts and documents for wholesale that need to be going to the title so the title work is completed. And then, of course, the big one, right, is blasting the deals to different groups and networks and putting together that good package for you. Because I know if I'm on the call with Sherman's group, I don't have any people who are sending those emails that say purchase price, rehab, ARV number, that's it, right? Like a full packet is what I take seriously and what I send to people who I really want to buy my stuff. So essentially, I give them the full estimated repair report, the comps that are with it, the pictures, everything that they have and need, as well as our money lenders if that's what they're looking for. Everything that they need so that there's no way that somebody can tell me no on picking up my wholesale deal. The more information you provide, obviously the better. And so virtual assistants can help you do that. So direct mail marketing, this one's important because a lot of people do just buy the list and think that buying a list is enough, but you really want to make sure you're combing and scrubbing that list deeper levels to essentially see what might be the best fit for mailing. So if we were to do free and clear, we may want to have a certain number of years that it's been free and clear, a certain area, just really making sure that the addresses actually do match up. And we can do, certain skip traces if we need to, but just really making sure you're combing through your list so that way you know the depth of what's on your list so that you can do a more targeted mailing. And so they can also track the campaign, right, to see which ones are getting responses, which ones may not be, whether you're doing letters, postcards. I've seen people do some creative things, and we've tried one with a money bag, which was actually really our highest response of a campaign. But they can actually obviously track those things. And they can also help you do the fulfillment of it, right? So we've done click to mail, and so our virtual assistants go ahead and send some of the postcards to click to mail to be fulfilled because we shot a video on what that actually looks like, and then I just go in and actually put in the actual credit card number. And then the ones that are on auto pay, I actually give the authority saying, yep, I've seen it, now go ahead and purchase to move forward. Managing the rehab. People don't think it's possible, but I promise you it is. My partner and I literally, a rehab that we just closed on, like I mentioned, Ohio, start to finish. I cannot tell you I know what we put in the property because I picked the SKU numbers, but I still can't tell you what it physically looks like in person because I haven't been there. And all I know is I got the wire 2 days before Christmas, and it was a jolly Christmas, right? A jolly holiday. So, yeah, so we really do have our virtual assistants essentially what we did was we basically created a major checklist and tasks that need to be done all throughout a rehab. And so our virtual assistants are basically helping us check off where we are in the rehabs and help us monitor each project. Rather than me saying, the plumber said this, the electrician said this, can you send it to whoever? We literally just have conference calls to do check-ins, so everybody's on the phone. So I don't have my general contractor telling me the plumber didn't do this. It's like, look, we're on the phone together. Let's go ahead and talk through what needs to be done, where we are. Great, good, go. And they coordinate our visits to each project, especially if we're bringing lenders to the projects, and they can pay contractors with our approval. Helping hire people, especially one is contractors or virtual assistants, realtors, so they can send out an initial post on Craigslist, on Indeed, wherever it is that you're trying to do, an initial post for people to respond to. They can screen for the completed applications, specifically for contractors. They can coordinate for that rehab proposal, scope of work to be at each project, so the contractor can see what he's looking at the initial project. They can also take the screening, the phone interviews with that contractor, as well as, basically provide the final list of recommended contractors. Then you just do your 6 critical documents, W-2, identification form, independent contractor agreement, scope of work, timely, or basically the time frame of when they're going to get paid and how much. So setting all that up ahead of time. So it's really on autopilot for you, and everybody's on the same page, more importantly. They can help you create presentations for deals. So they can help you update sellers, buyers, and lenders, like I said, with the credibility packet that I stressed. But also, if you were just, showing sellers, buyers, lenders about your company, like via PowerPoint or via email campaign, that can help do that. Obviously, creating proposals when you're working with different people, binder of deals, which I've done for really high hitter level lenders. And editing any presentations that you do. And so my last little bit is just some of the tools that you can use to support your virtual assistants. So Aweber, of course, being the big mail campaign. Podio, which is the database, the CRM database to host everything. MailChimp is also a newsletter campaign. Infusionsoft works for a lot of different things. But really when you're trying to get on that high scale of business, more so when you're first starting out, I don't always recommend. But Infusionsoft, great for hosting for website leads, templates, campaigns, everything. QuickBooks, you can do text alerts if you have numbers that you want to send a blast to. Google Talk or Google Voice, as well as using different meetups and LinkedIn to help build support, for your buyers, or even for you to go to different networking meetings, and essentially make connections to help your business. Callfire 2, which I also like, allows you to record conversations and also gives you a tracking number. So essentially, if I were to send, so right now we have a couple of different campaigns going on via direct mail. So with the probate, absentee, etc., it can be a lot of numbers to keep track of, especially to track each campaign. So if they call, all the Callfire numbers can be actually forwarded to your Pat Live, so that's okay. But if they call a certain number, Pat Live can see that it's coming from the direct mail list of absentee owners that we mail to, or the probate list. So it's just a way to track things a little bit deeper in your business. And they can also record conversations. So if your virtual assistant was to also make calls, another way to do as well. Craigslist, of course, great tool for them so that they can advertise and recruit for different jobs. And build your buyers list. I mean, people think that, don't sleep on Craigslist, right? Like, you really could post a fire sale ad, right? Like, basically saying, so for my DC people, great deal, $100,000 single family house in DuPont, right? Something everybody would, blast you essentially immediately. And then as soon as, you get on the phone with them, you say, oh, man, that one just went. Well, let me add you to my buyers list. Tell me what your criteria is so that I know for the next time of what you're looking for. But yeah, there's different ways, different marketing to do on Craigslist. We also do estate sales, which is good. So our virtual assistants will look through different estate sales that are happening, and then we try and get in contact with the owner saying, oh, I see you're having an estate sale. Well, we'd love to talk about the actual house. So do not sleep on Craigslist. Lots of still good ways to build your buyers list and also advertise for your business, and more importantly, help you get some deals done. Zillow, which we obviously use to do a desktop analysis, is especially to help for people who don't have access to the MLS. Obviously, not everything is accurate on Zillow, but still looking at running the comps of just different sold things that were in the market, looking at the trends of what's being bought, or how many houses are being sold, how many houses are just on the market for sale right now that haven't been. So just, you can do a lot of tracking on Zillow. You can research expired listings, look at different auction properties, short sales, and tax liens. And yes, obviously monitoring the different trends that are happening. Podio, which is really my favorite because it is free $99. At this point, I've now upgraded to the business system because we have so much going on in Podio, but this was only recently. So we were really using Podio for free up until I'd say about 2 months ago. So I really had to buy the upgraded version because of all the other different team members and things we were trying to do. But you can enter your contacts, put all your leads in there. track your direct mail campaigns, internet marketing, lead pages, and squeeze pages, as well as you can create apps within Protea, right? So you can also track the time, keep a time calendar for your virtual assistant, as well as managing the calendars and items and to-do lists for each team member. Visita is also my personal favorite because, once again, the back and forth between people trying to find time to do things, and a lot of things can just be, miscommunicated. So it basically just allows people to sign up. I have a personal blocks that are just already like laid out for people to essentially sign up for. So my virtual assistant will go in and put appointments for me to, meet with sellers if I have to do an in-person seller meeting. And it syncs to my Google Calendar, which I really love. So that way they don't overlap with anything I have going on. So they can do that. They can see exactly where I am. Because that basically determines what needs to be done for the week, depending on where I am in. I know whether I'm in Ohio, New Jersey, Florida. So really helps to keep things advertised, compartmentalized for you. And so those are just a few to get you started. So I tried to give you as much as I could with the time that we have. I also provide a lot of samples of ads, examples of outsourcing, interviewing, how to hire virtual assistants in my book, which is on Amazon, and you can also get that.
Okay, I got my copy. Hey guys, I got my copy. So you check out her on Amazon, Brain Glitch. Check her out on Amazon. I got a copy live when I went to her first training session on this very subject. So I got it hot off the presses, but you can go on Amazon, you can get a copy of her book, Real Estate Automation Blueprint. And you can also take her course if you're interested. You can sign up through her course, just contact her, and I'm going to let this go on over and actually share with you a copy of my screen again so that you can actually take down her contact information. Okay? And in that way, you can reach out to her, find out about a little bit more information about the course, sign up through the course, let her know that you actually got the information from me, Monica Blair, on the course, and that way you can take advantage of any of the opportunities that come your way. I will be sending out, once she lets me know that you've signed up for the course, I will be contacting you, or you can actually reach out to me as well. Let me know you signed up, and I will send a free copy for all of those that sign up through me. A free copy of an ebook download you can get of Think and Grow Rich, or a copy of How to Master My Time by Brian Tracy. Think and Grow Rich is by Napoleon Hill. And How to Master My Time is by Brian Tracy. Or Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer. So any one of those three, you'll have an opportunity to choose from. Just request your copy from me, and you can get a copy of that once you sign up for the course. So again, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know I have a few glitches. I'm working through the technical issues that I have so that this can run smoothly, because I have a lot that I would like to share with you guys. I like to share and network with all. So definitely reach out to me. As you can see at the bottom of the page, the link for my website, and join the VIP list. Get updates on the latest. The next event will be January 30th, and that'll be a business opportunity presentation. If you're interested in starting a business, definitely reach out to me and get more information so I can put you on the guest list. That'll be in Baltimore, Maryland. You can also get a copy off my website of Ron LeGrand's wholesaling real estate for $1, and access into his back office with tons of information for free for the first 30 days. For you to check it out, see what sheet he has, see the contracts, see the tons of questions that have been answered by previous investors, and more training if you're interested. He is my real estate mentor, my guru that I have learned so much from. As well, you can come out on February 24th through the 28th if you'd like to Orlando, Florida, to the Great American Real Estate Summit of 2016. I'll be there as well. And you can again get more information by checking out my website and get all the details about the summit. Sign up for the summit. Contact me if you have questions. Let me know if you're going to be there so I can look out for you. And that concludes the presentation. So I hope you guys have a great day. And I know that this information was of great value to you. I don't even have to ask that question. But you guys have a great day. Stay in touch. And that's it.